Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andre Miles, along with Mr. Jeremy Davis, and we are the founders of the Take a Stand movement. And today's talk is entitled, I Have to Say This, and that's why I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door. Listen, I grew up with a mother and three sisters, so trust me, ladies, this is not being said in any form of disrespect to you, only I need to speak with my men. Men, we need to take back our role in the household as well as in the community. We as men need to lead again. We need to teach how to lead, only there's a problem with this, and that is not too many of us so-called men know what leadership looks like. The only way to teach is through knowledge and then applying that knowledge. See, because we can talk all day long, baby, with no verbs, okay? We have to learn what leadership looks like by first understanding what it means and then by applying that learned knowledge to teach both the young and the old alike on what a leader looks like. We say to one another all the time, which is the same thing I heard when I was coming up, and that is, these young people just don't know. These young people just don't get it. Well, the fault lies on us, on you and I, the so-called adults. What we need is leadership. That is what is needed to begin again. Okay, only it is not being taught to our children in these government-ran institutions we call schools. What is being taught in there is only how to follow, accept, and settle. I also say that actions are the true teachers, because we can talk all day and a person will walk away still not knowing what a leader looks like because he still is yet to see leadership in action. Listen, I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door. We have two types of people in this world, and they are those who inspire to lead and those who choose to follow. Well, today we are talking about leadership. See, a leader isn't someone who stands out front and speaks alone, nor is a leader the one that comes up with and makes all the decisions. See, no one person speaks, and when you do see one person speaking, you are hearing the voices of all the people involved in that cause. Leadership is collective. Change is possible, y'all. Only we have to do it together. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that leadership matters, people, and it matters even more in uncertain times than it does in stable times. Organizations and communities certainly have their fair share of turbulence right now, and you can expect many more massive and enriching changes in the years to come. Believe me, and you can take that to the bank. Listen, adversity and hardship test leaders. These times call for bold actions and risky moves, often without predictable outcomes. You will have to ask people to change, to transform, to do things differently. You feel me? And the only thing they will have is your word that this is the right thing to do. Success is initiating or responding to change, is inextricably linked to the credibility of those leading the efforts. People will commit to the extent that they believe in those guiding the change. So it is wise, therefore, for leaders to begin every significant change with a credit check. It's not just, and I quote, do people believe that the new system will improve our performance, or even do they believe that this risky policy is for the greater good? It's also, do they believe in me and my ability to lead this effort, end quote. But you can't do it alone. Neither can your organization, your community, or your country. Everyone, leaders and constituents alike, shares the responsibility for getting extraordinary things done. You need every person's energetic involvement as much as the people need your courage of conviction. You need to make leadership everyone's business, not just your business. We all contribute to the renewal of mutual trust and understanding. Listen, by making leadership about us and not about them, we all take responsibility for doing what we say we will do. And in the end, everyone becomes more credible. I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door. Look, leadership may once have been conferred by rank and privilege. It may once have been something that was characterized by command and control, top down, do as I say type style, you dig? Only not anymore. Those days are long gone. Today, leadership is only an aspiration. It is something you have to earn every day, because on a daily basis, people choose whether or not they're going to follow you. It is something you keep striving to achieve and never assume you'll fully attain. The old organizational hierarchy just can't generate the kind of commitment that's required in our global society. This isn't a call for open elections inside organizations. Only managers should not get it twisted. People do vote. They vote with their energy. They vote with their dedication, with their talent, and with their actions. Don't you put forth a higher quality effort when you believe that the people leading you are there to serve your needs and not just their own interests? People willingly follow the direction of someone who is attuned to their aims and aspirations, worries and fears, ideas and images. Also, ultimately, the constituents are arbiters of the quality of leadership they receive. In the end, leaders don't decide who lead. The people who believe in that leader do. Do you understand? Yo, I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door. See, I understand loyalty is not something a boss or anyone for that matter can demand or even command. It is something the people choose choose to grant to a leader who has earned it. The people's choice is based not upon authority, but upon the degree to which the leader lives up to that expectations people hold. I also understand that leadership is something one experiences in an interaction with another human being. That experience varies from leader to leader, from person to person, and from day to day. No two constituents or leaders are exactly alike, you feel me? And no two constituent groups are exactly alike. And even in this digital age when face-to-face content seems to be diminishing, and this change is the source of many of leadership problems being expressed these days, it is the interaction between leaders and people that turns opportunities into success. So the key to unlocking greater leadership potential can be found when you seek to understand the desires and expectations of the people, and when you act on them in ways that correspond to their image and what an exemplary leader is and does. Stephen Covey, and I quote, "As my study took me back to 200 years of writing about success, I noticed a startling pattern emerging in the contents of literature. I began to feel more and more that much of the success literature of the past 50 years was superficial. It was filled with social image consciousness techniques and quick fixes, with social band-aids and aspirin that addressed acute problems and sometimes appeared to solve them temporarily, but left the underlying chronic problems untouched to fester and resurface time and time and time again," end quote. So society, it seems to me, values image over integrity, commercialism over character, and fame over foundations, and what a high price has been paid for these errors. So I need you to understand that I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door. Because without character, one can never be truly successful, because the foundation of all long-term success isn't what a person owns, but who he is. Regretfully, society seems to have forgotten this common sense principle, probably because common sense isn't so common today. I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door, and that is, people who take shortcuts in character development only end up shortening themselves. The best way to become a moral leader is to build trust in others by building trust in oneself, following one's own deeply held principles by using resolutions. Therefore, is the path to building both personal and public trust. I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door. Listen, any person who cannot trust himself to follow his own convictions shouldn't be shocked when others refuse to trust his convictions as well. This isn't the work of a day, a week, a month, or even a year. Trust is literally built over a lifetime, since character is molded through a person's consistent study and application of his principles or resolutions in his life. Sadly, if one had to ask 1,000 randomly selected people, he probably wouldn't find anyone who has developed, written, studied, and applied specific resolutions in his life. I have to say this, so please check your feelings at the door. In the Western world, character development through written resolutions is a lost art. Along with this loss is the subsequent loss of significance, meaning, and morality. The West is fatally wounded, having suicidally stabbed itself in the heart. So 10 to 20 years ago, the characteristics of admired leaders would have consisted of integrity, which is trustful, is trustworthy, has character, has convictions, competent, which is capable, is productive, is efficient, leadership, which is inspiring, is decisive, provides direction, compared to characteristics of admired leaders today, which consist of ambitious, which is aspiring, is hardworking, is striving, broad-minded, which is open-minded, is flexible, is receptive, tolerant, caring, which is appreciative, is compassionate, is concerned, is loving, is nurturing, competent, which is capable, is proficient, is effective, gets the job done, is professional, cooperative, which is collaborative, is a team player, is responsive, courageous, which is bold, is daring, is gutsy, dependable, which is reliable, consensuous, responsible, determined, which is dedicated, is resolute, is persistent, is purposeful, fair-minded, which is just, is unprejudiced, is objective, is forgiving, is willing to pardon others, forward-looking, which is a visionary, is foresighted, is concerned about the future, has sense of direction, honest, which is truthful, has integrity, is trustworthy, has character, imaginative, which is creative, is innovative, curious, independent, which is self-reliant, self-sufficient, self-confident, inspiring, which is uplifting, is enthusiastic, is energetic, is humorous, is cheerful, is positive about the future, intelligent, which is bright, is smart, is thoughtful, is intellectual, is reflective, is logical, loyal, which is faithful, is dutiful, is unswerving in all allegiance, is devoted, mature, which is experienced, is wise, and has depth, self-control, self-control, which is restrained, is self-discipline, straightforward, which is direct, is candid, is forthright, supportive, which is helpful, offers assistance, comforting. Listen. We have to get self out of the way. And you ask me, Andre, how does that look? And I answer to that would be principles over love of power. It would be desire for influence over need of recognition. It would be humility over need for human advancement. You have to know that developing wisdom, okay, is the cure for overcoming self. And by developing, studying, and consistently applying your resolutions, you will change not only yourself, okay, but the whole world. And with that, I digress. I say thank you for your time and attention. I love you all in Yahshua. Continue blessings. The Take a Stand movement.